Over the past year, there's been an almost limitless supply of unsolved mysteries to sweep across the planet. Some of these cases are wildly interesting and humorous, while others are considerably more tragic. We will cover both ends of the spectrum in this video as we unfold 5 of the most mysterious occurrences from 2019. Number 5. Police from Brazil have made a rather strange discovery after finding what appears to be a massive humpback whale, deceased, lying in the middle of the Amazon jungle. The shocking find was first reported and discovered after someone noticed a very large amount of vultures had been flying around a small area of the forest. Investigators used maps of the area to pinpoint the location, which revealed to be Marajo Island. Several investigators and officials headed out to the area to investigate and were completely baffled by what they found. The animal is quite obviously completely out of its natural habitat. It was measured to be around 36 feet long and was confirmed as a humpback whale. What's extremely strange about this ordeal is that the whale was located about 50 feet from the nearest body of water. This begged the question, how did this whale manage to make it so far away from the water? No one is sure at the moment, but scientists have theorized that it had to do with the particularly dangerous recent storm. Researchers believe that the whale could have washed ashore during the recent storm and somehow managed to sweep itself ashore and into the jungle by simply flopping its way through the brush and trees. It's even more strange that the whale would have been in this area this time of year, though. Specialists say that the whales rarely ever swim near the Amazon rainforest during these months, let alone swim so close to shore. It may seem as though being forced out of your natural habitat and onto dry land is a painful enough death for this creature. However, this whale's story is far from over. Officials say that they have no way of removing the whale from the jungle. This means that its large body must simply remain where it currently lies. After the vultures have had their way with the whale, police say that they'll return to attempt to move the skeleton back out to sea. Number 4. Many viewers have been describing this next entry as a weird dead thing, and they're certainly not wrong. This object washed ashore in North Carolina in June of 2019 and has left the National Park Service baffled as to what it could be. The being appears to be very similar to a worm, though it's absolutely covered in sharp ivory spines. It washed up on the shore of Shackleford Banks at Cape Lookout and was found by a local visitor. The National Park Service made a post about the strange creature on their Facebook page, stating, "Weird things found at the beach. We need some help identifying this object. So far, we're stumped as to what it may be." Many park workers believe that it must have been some sort of deformed worm, though thanks to online researchers, it was soon revealed to be the remains of a striped burrfish. An update was posted to the Facebook page reading, "The bony structures are the fish's defense spots. Apparently, these remains even show up on fossil record and are known to paleontologists. So no tubeworm case decorations this time." That final remark was referring to the fact that a short while before this discovery, scientists found a foot-long marine tubeworm living at the bottom of the ocean near a methane gas seepage point. Many viewers began chiming in with their guesses about the origins of that creature as well, with some suggesting that it could even have been the feces of another animal. The ocean is certainly a strange place. Number 3. A man from Maine was working on a small renovation project when he made a rather unsettling discovery in his own backyard. He found a marble bust located just about a foot below the lawn's surface. This finding allegedly took place in Brownfield when a backhoe was digging in the man's yard. The head appears to be of a middle-aged man, yet no one has any idea who this may be. The head was brought back to the local historical society, who then posted images of the head on their Facebook page. The organization stated that the head appears to have been broken off at its shoulders. Someone suggested that the head seems to have taken the impact of either a bullet or a hammer on the left side of the head, which may explain how the head was removed from the body. The home that rests on the property in which the bust was found was built sometime around 1830, but researchers found no leads from this information regarding the statue's origins. The Historical Society stated, "It doesn't appear that any of the previous owners of this home have been affluent enough to have had a statue made of them, or to have possessed one for display in the home." Several different theories have been proposed regarding the origins of the head. Some have suggested that it could have been decapitated and stolen many years ago, but others have suggested that it could have belonged to Franklin Simmons. Franklin was a 19th century sculptor who grew up in the area, so it's possible that this could have been a lost piece of his artwork that somehow ended up in someone's lawn as a lawn ornament, only to be buried under a foot of dirt at some point later on. This idea is what's most concerning about this case. Regardless of the origins of the head, what would have led someone to bury it in their backyard? Because of the mystery, the current owner of the head and his location have remained anonymous. This is due to the fact that he fears local treasure hunters may show up and claim the head as their own. After all, the head is currently being displayed on his front porch. We can certainly hope that the origins of this head are innocent enough, but that seems a bit unlikely. To this day, it remains unclear why exactly this head would have been removed from its body, or buried for that matter. Some have suggested that there could be some sort of paranormal entity tied to the head, but we simply can't know for sure. Number 2. Olympic National Park rangers and local police are on the hunt for a 35-year-old woman who reportedly went missing after setting sail at Lake Crescent in nothing more than an inflatable raft shaped like a unicorn. The search began in May of 2019, with rescue personnel beginning their hunt around 6 p.m. on the 29th. According to local police, Lena Lang was riding in a Pegasus inflatable raft just to the west of Barnes Point on Lake Crescent. Around the time she set sail, the winds began to increase, pulling her raft further out to sea than she originally intended. She was eventually pulled out of the view of onlookers, with it being unclear exactly which direction the wind would be taking her. As it would turn out, her raft overturned at some point and was last seen near the west side of Barnes Point, nearby where she initially took off. Park rangers conducted several different search methods, including naval rescue teams and even aerial surveys. However, no sign of her was ever found. Rangers returned to the area on the following day to search further, but still found no trace of the woman. The park's officials are asking anyone that may have been at the park on May 29th between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. to call or text them. Even if the information you have may seem useless, they ask that you report to them any and all information that may help lead to Lena's return. It's no secret that the possibility of Lena being taken away by menacing waters is highly likely. However, it's also possible that Lena could have abandoned the raft and made it ashore elsewhere in the area, but is simply lost in the woods or in danger. The likelihood of her survival at this time is certainly less than ideal, but investigators are remaining hopeful and simply requesting that any and all information about that day be reported to them so that all leads can be exhausted. Number 1. Back in 2013, a meteor made impact with Earth. The meteor was measured to be about 17 meters in diameter, but managed to cause over $15 million in damages and injured over 1,500 people. The meteorite is considered to be quite small when compared to others that have been seen soaring past the planet every single day. However, regardless of its size, its impact was life-changing for many of those who lived in the nearby area. The meteorite was soon collected and taken to a museum in Russia to be displayed. However, visitors to the museum and historical museum staff, when they witnessed the display dome that was covering the meteorite, began to lift off without human intervention. This caused many onlookers to believe that the meteorite was somehow cursed or possessed, and that its inhabitants wanted to escape. The incident occurred in the middle of the day on December 14th and was captured on CCTV footage. The footage was then shared online and showed several visitors viewing the meteorite and roaming around the surrounding areas. At one point, the lid covering the object simply lifts off. An alarm then begins to set off, and security staff rush to the scene to seal the object once more. The seal began to lift so gradually that most onlookers didn't even notice. A spokesperson for the museum stated that management and other employees had no idea what could have caused the strange event to take place. The lid is only capable of being lifted off by a remote system that no employees had even touched. The museum directors soon contacted technical experts and asked what could have caused such a thing, but they all concurred that the dome could not have lifted on its own without some sort of outside force acting upon it. Aside from some sort of paranormal interference, others have suggested that a rogue employee could have been slowly lifting the glass in an attempt to steal the object. The idea here is that it would have gradually been lifted over time to see how far the glass needed to move before the alarm would be triggered. They would then devise their plan around the size of the available opening, leaving the opening just small enough to keep the alarm system unaffected. However, workers say that lifting the glass isn't as simple as just pushing a button. There are all sorts of security measures in place that keep the glass from lifting without top-level clearance. The device can't be accessed by just any employee. Following the incident, the museum has been asked to review its security measures to help avoid incidents like this from taking place in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this narration, maybe consider checking out my personal channel at youtube.com/ty_knots. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to click that like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our future uploads.